Welcome to episode 2 of my series called Traveling 101, your ultimate guide to every step of travel. Whether you're traveling for the very first time or if it's been a while and you need a bit of a refresher, I've got you covered. As I mentioned in episode 1, if you're an experienced traveler, you'll probably know a lot of this, but just in case, I've got timestamps down below, and I tried to include all my very best tips, so there might be some little nuggets of wisdom sprinkled throughout. Now that you've planned your trip, it's time to focus on packing and preparing for your departure. First things first, what type of luggage should you bring? You can bring any combination of checked luggage, a carry-on, and a personal item. I'll go over pros and cons and what you need to know about each type of bag. And it really all depends on your needs and preferences. So number 1, a checked bag is ideal for longer trips or if you need to pack liquids that are over 100 milliliters or 3 ounces. Depending on your airline, there may not be a fee for a checked bag, but it really depends on what type of ticket you purchased. Taking a piece of checked luggage is really the easiest though, because you're not as limited to what you can pack and you don't have to worry about bringing your bag through the airport and lifting it into the overhead bin. The downside of checking a bag though is sometimes it can cost extra. You do have to arrive at the airport a little earlier to check in, and sometimes the wait at the baggage claim is long and there is a potential for a lost luggage. However, if you're taking a direct flight, there's much less chance of your bag getting lost. Then we have carry-on. This is typically a roller bag or maybe a large duffel bag, something that's about 22 by 14 by 9 or smaller. And in Europe and Australia and Asia, the size limits for carry-on is often much smaller than that. I'll talk more about this later. A carry-on though is perfect for shorter trips, maybe about 5 days. But you really can go any length of time in just a carry-on. Explore my channel for all kinds of videos about that. But some more benefits with carry-on: you get to keep your bag with you at all times, you get to skip the wait times at the baggage carousel, and you don't have to show up as early at the airport. You might have to pay to bring a carry-on on board with you though, so again, check to see what comes with your airfare. All airlines unfortunately have their own restrictions as far as size and weight, so you do have to check the website in advance for that as well. With carry-ons, you're also restricted to bring liquids, gels, and aerosols in containers no larger than 100 milliliters or 3.4 ounces. And all of those containers do have to fit into 1 quart or liter-sized clear bag. There are a few exceptions when it comes to medications, which I'll speak about shortly. And finally, we have what's called a personal item. This is usually a backpack, a small duffel bag, a tote bag, or a purse. If you're planning to bring a bag that will go under the seat in front of you, make sure it's fully zippered, not something like an open tote bag. This just makes it way too easy for things to fall out during the flight without you noticing. And I would say that most airlines allow this size of bag for free with your ticket. So if you're flying a budget airline or the airline you're flying with charges for both carry-on and checked luggage and you want to save some money, you can definitely pack for a trip into a bag of this size. It does take some planning, but again, I have a few videos to help with that. Either way, this type of bag is great for keeping essentials easily accessible, like your passport, wallet, phone, tablet, books, or e-reader, and other small items. Personally, my setup is usually 1 carry-on roller bag accompanied by a personal item bag. I don't worry too much about the liquids because there are a couple things you can do to really keep your liquids down. You can buy most of your liquids once you're in your destination, or you can switch to solid alternatives. I have a full video about that to help. So again, before deciding what bag to pack, check the policies of your particular airline or airlines before you fly to ensure your bags not only fit, but that they're included with your airfare so that you're not hit with a surprise bill at the airport. If you end up bringing a bag that's over the limit in size, you will have to pay, and it's usually going to be more expensive than if you would have originally added it to your ticket when you booked your flight. As far as what luggage to use, again, it really depends on your preferences. I'll leave links to some specific bags that I like based on my own preferences. But my top choice would probably be something from Travel Pro because of its overall quality and functionality for a reasonable price point. If you're looking to invest in something that will last you forever with a lifetime warranty, Briggs & Riley is your best bet. There are also some great options on Amazon that I have found for a pretty fair price that are pretty good quality. As well, I still like my Monos bag. So again, check the description and comments for the exact bags I use and recommend. When it comes to packing everything up, here's some of my tried and true methods to save space and keep things organized. Compression cubes are great for maximizing space and keeping your outfits sorted. You can separate your clothes and outfits by days or types of activities. Again, I've got a full video detailing what I love about using cubes and how you can use them to pack for your next trip. To pare down your wardrobe, because I know narrowing down what items to bring is always so hard, I do like using the 3x3 method. This method includes packing 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 layering pieces. The key is versatility. Make sure everything mixes and matches for different outfits. If you need a few more pieces, I would add a couple more tops to the mix and then you're set. Another thing to help you pack is to think about if you have any anchor events or activities on your trip. Do you have maybe a certain event you're traveling for, or are you most looking forward to a certain day or excursion in particular? If so, it's helpful to pick out outfits for these anchor events and then plan the rest of your clothing around those outfits to round out your wardrobe. But again, don't go overboard, only maybe 2 to 3 anchor events per trip. And then everything else has to be able to be worn with clothing from your anchor event outfits. Something to help with this is layering, especially if you're packing for unpredictable weather. Beyond clothes, here are some tips about how to pack other essentials like medication or medical devices like a CPAP machine. If you are packing medication, always carry your necessary medications in your carry-on with you, especially if it's something that can't be easily replaced when you're abroad. Medication in liquid form is allowed in a carry-on in excess of the 3.4 ounce rule, as long as it's within reasonable quantities. You must tell the screening officer that you have medically necessary liquids at the start of the screening checkpoint process. These liquids are subject to additional screening though, and that could include being asked to open the container. This also includes contact lens solution, so you're not limited to bringing just the travel size bottle. You can also bring your medication in pill or solid form in unlimited amounts as long as it can all go through the scanner. TSA does not require passengers to have medications in prescription bottles, but some states do have individual laws regarding labeling of prescription medication, and you need to comply with that. So make sure you check where you're traveling. And remember to check the laws and policies about foreign countries you might be flying into. If you have several pills you take each day, you might be able to talk to your doctor or pharmacist, and they can provide you with blister packaging, where each pack includes your medication for the day, your name, your doctor's name, the drug name, strength, direction for intake, quantity, plus the date and time they should be taken. So these are perfect for travel, allowing you to unroll or tear off and bring exactly what you need for the duration of your trip. You may also want to carry a copy of the original prescription in case customs or security asks about your medication. It can also help to have a letter from your doctor listing your medications, why you're taking them, and why you need to travel with them, especially if you're carrying medications that require a syringe. If you plan to bring a CPAP machine, make sure to check with the airline in advance. Many airlines don't count medical equipment towards your carry-on allowance, but some, especially the budget airlines, do count them as your personal item. So depending on the airline, you might be able to bring a carry-on bag and a personal item bag with you in addition to your CPAP machine in a separate bag. The only thing is do not pack your CPAP machine in your checked luggage. Now, bringing your machine through security is just the same as everything else. Just place it on the belt to go through the X-ray scanner. Most likely, the officer will probably want to check it or swab it before it's cleared. And if you're planning to use your CPAP on the flight, you likely have to get pre-clearance from the airline to use it in flight. This is because some of them require you to have an external battery to power it instead of using the in-seat power. And remember to bring a voltage converter if you're traveling to another country with different electrical outlets. But beyond flying, if you're going to be going on a cruise, for example, you will have to pre-clear your machine in advance. I think this is for fire hazard and safety reasons. And there are also travel CPAP machines that are much smaller and quieter if you do prefer to pack something that's a little more convenient. If you need more specific ideas about what to pack, browse around some of my other videos and make sure you subscribe because I'm planning to make more specific videos showing you exactly what I pack for my trips. So that wraps up part 2 of my Traveling 101 series. In the next episode, I'll cover more trip essentials prior to departure, as well as helpful information for arriving at the airport and tips for flying so you can navigate air travel like a pro. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.